Please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on the screen. Please check it. All of you get my voice on the screen. You are attending online. Okay. Morning. Good morning to all guys. Okay. Right. And can you please check it what I completed there in the last session? Any idea what we completed in the last session? So object block is creating or not, Pranjali. An object block is creating or not. This information is not sufficient. Internal members are also required. And object 2 is also a reference variable, no doubt for that. Why? Because you declared that OBJ1 and OBJ2 both are for test type, right? OBJ1 and OBJ2 both are like which one test type. Then what you have done, OBJ1 contains one object. Then OBJ2 variable we declared. Then later we assign that OBJ2, OBJ1, OBJ2. OBJ1 value we assign to OBJ2. Reference value is shared. So finally the point is what's going on here. Yeah. Yes, guys, just wait a minute after. Yes, ask one question. But anyway, it is outside, out of context, guys. The remaining members not required to think about it. It's totally outside context. Just a minute after. Let me explain this. Then after that, I will start it. So OBJ1 is equal to new test. Fine. Now test of OBJ2. Semicolon. OBJ2 is equal to OBJ1. Then this only your program part, right? Yes, am I right? Anjali, am I right? This only your program, right? That's fine. So here, what is the point I'm telling to you clearly in this scenario? Guys, remaining members not required to think about it. It's totally outside. And it not your knowledge is not sufficient. You don't think much about it. So here, what happened there inside this? When we execute this statement, test class object is created. This is test class object. This is referred by OBJ1. OBJ1. This OBJ1 is referring this object now. Whenever we refer this object, here internally reference value is created. The reference value, say for example, you can observe this clearly A111. Assume like this. Then after that, what you have done here, test of OBJ2, just that is declared. Then later what we have done, OBJ1 we assign to OBJ2. OBJ1 we assign to OBJ2. So simple, then here obj2 variable will be created and which contains a111. Its reference value is like which one there? A111. Simply, it refers to the same object. It refers to the same object. Whatever the object we created and which is referred by obj1, then same object is referred by which one? Obj. That's it. Nothing is going to be happen. Only this thing is going to be happen, but memory leaks and all these things are going to be happen. More internal members are required for this test class, then only we are able to conclude that memory leaks are maybe some heap corruption. This kind of things are going to be happen. This it's not going to be happen. Just simply two reference variables are referring a single object. That's it. Two reference variables are referring single object, not more than that. Only this thing is going to be happen with our data. But apart from this, whatever the heap corruption, heap pollution, and this kind of things, if you are expecting there, more content, more internal content is required here. Anyway, then, not required to think up to that point here. It's not at all required. Then maybe in the JV mark teacher, whenever we talk about memories there, we will talk about this kind of things now. Not worry for that. In the future, we will discuss about this content, guys. Right, sir. Good, good. Pointer reference variable. What are pointers and why pointers are not required in Java? Yes, exactly. Then what exactly the content we discussed there, that points we understood now. Well, let's guys now come for this one simple content what I'm telling to you. Pointers are existed in C and C++, but pointers are not existed in Java. That's the point what we understood there in the last class. In general, in programming languages, variables are able to store data. But in C and C++, to manipulate data through memory locations, C and C++ have provided a type of variable called as pointer variable. Right, sir. Pointer is a variable in C and C++. It is able to store address locations of the data structure, where data structure may be a variable, an array, or a structure, or maybe another pointer variable, and so on. Example I've given, try to recognize this. Int envo is equal to 111. This is data variable. Okay, fine. But int star p and p is equal to ampersand envo. Into star p is which one there? Pointer variable. Why? Because star notation. Like this, here we declare that. That's okay, guys. Next one is why pointers are not existed in Java. Why pointers are not existed in Java? That was the question. Answer for this question is pointers are recognized and initialized at the time of compilation. Pointer variables required static memory allocation, but Java is following dynamic memory allocation. Pointers are supported by static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Pointers are very much suitable in platform-dependent programming languages, but Java is platform-independent programming language. Pointer variables are providing less security for the applications, but Java is very good secure programming language. It has to provide very good security for the application data. Pointers is a bit confusion-oriented feature, but Java is a simple programming language. It must not provide confusion to the developers. Then after that, immediately we have a question, what are the differences between pointer variable and reference variable? But before asking about this question, then already I have given a diagram in the last class. What was the diagram I prepared there? Pointers. In the diagram I prepared, now just we can observe this clearly. What exactly the meaning of pointer? What is the meaning of this reference variable? I given a simple diagram. So what is pointer variable? In C and C++, a variable is referring a block of memory by storing its starting address location. A variable is referring a block of memory by storing its starting address location. Then that variable is called as which one? Pointer variable. That variable is called as which one? Pointer variable. That's what it is. Next one is, in the case of Java, when we create an object for a particular class, here also a variable is referring a block of memory. The block of memory is called as an object. But how it refers this block of memory is the question. If you know that internal content, then easily we can differentiate. Pointer variable and reference variable. pointer variable and reference variable. That's the point, guys. Now let's observe this clearly here, how this object is created. In Java, all Java instructions are executed by JVM. In Java, we are using a separate type of memory that is called as which one? Heap memory. Their only objects are going to be created. Where heap manager is a person, one another person is existing. Right, sir. Now, when JVM executes this a small a is equal to new a constructor, and JVM executes a small a is equal to new a constructor, immediately JVM will send request to heap manager about to create an object for class K. Then what heap manager will do? Heap manager will ask the JVM how much memory is required. Then JVM will go to class K where it will search for variables under their data types. No, as per that it will calculate minimum memory for this object and it able to give that minimum memory information to the heap manager. A heap manager will search for the required block of memory as a single object. When this required block of memory is identified, that will be assigned as an object for the respective JVM. But whenever it has created object there, internally, it will provide an identity for this object. So heap manager will provide one unique identity in the form of an integer for each and every object, not only for this object. Whenever object is created, then immediately one identity will be created for that object through an integer value. That identity through an integer value is called as hash code of the object. That identity through an integer value is called as which one? Hash code of the object. Now here we are getting hash code value. When a hash code value is created, heap manager will take the hash code value. The hash code value will be given to will give to JVM. Now JVM will convert the hash code value into its hexadecimal form. Hexadecimal form of hash code is called as which one? Reference value. That reference value will give to a variable. That variable is called as which one? Reference variable. Finally, from this, what we understood, what is reference variable? We understood in this total explanation. Reference variable is a variable which stores object reference value. Here, what is object reference value? Object reference value is a hexadecimal form of hash code. Then what is this hash code? Hash code is an integer value provided by heap manager as a unique identity for this object. That's it. So hash code is not address location. Reference value is not address location. The reference variable doesn't store any address location. So finally, reference variable is referring this object by using reference value of the object. Reference variable is referring this object in the sense block of memory by using a reference value of this object. But in the case of C and C++, pointer variable is referring a block of memory by storing its address location. So here address location is a matter, but here reference value is a matter. So address location stored inside the pointer variable, but inside the reference variable, object reference value is stored. It is not like address location of the object. Understand my point clearly? So because of that reason, we can conclude pointer variables are different and reference variables are different. Pointer variables are exist in C and C++. Reference variables are exist in Java. Pointer is a variable. It able to refer a block of memory by storing its address location. Reference variable is a variable. It able to refer a block of memory that is an object by storing object reference value. Here object reference value is hexadecimal form of hash code, where hash code is a unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. Next one is then after that, pointer variables are very much suitable in static programming languages. Why? Because pointer variables require static memory allocation. But reference variables are very much suitable in dynamic programming languages. Why? Because reference variables require dynamic memory allocation. That's it, guys. Now, this is the total awareness here we have to understand about like which one here, pointer variables and reference variables, and pointers are not exist in the case of Java, and pointers are very much suitable in C and C++. Fourth point is also be completed. Now, let's move on to the fifth point here. Fifth difference between Java and others. Good. Now, the fifth difference is multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance not existed in Java. Multiple inheritance is not existed in Java. Yes, simple. I'm asking one question to all of you. Now try to answer for it. All of you guys. All of you, please respond for my question. A simple question I'm asking to all of you. Please respond for me. What is inheritance? Any idea? Just simple question. If you know, just we can give the type that information. If you don't know, just specify I don't know. That's it. As for this, I'll plan. What is inheritance? That's my question. If you know, just we can type the information. If you don't know, just type I don't know. That's it. Parent properties will give into child class. That's perfect. Don't know what. Reusability. That's fine. It's the relation between classes. Yes, good. Don't know what. To acquire the properties from one class to another class exactly. I like yeah. I don't know. Mike. Superclass access from child class. Superclass access from child class. Okay, right. No problem. Right information. So already variables methods from parent class. Guys, then whenever I'm asking this type of question, please respond all of you. Please respond all of you. Why? Because I am asking this question just to know how much you know about this particular topic. So that's why then if you give your information, either if you are really not aware exactly, then feel free and type I don't know. Then why? As for that, I will explain to you clearly. Yeah, that's the point I'm telling there. So try to give your information. If you know, just type that what you know. If you don't know, try to type that I don't know. It's very fair. It's very clear. Then I'll plan. I will inject the content. Yeah, no idea. That's perfect. I don't know. And one more thing, guys. And while registering with the webinar, already ID numbers are given to everybody. ID numbers are given to everybody, guys. Yeah, please try to add Durgasoft provided ID number as a first name, your name, complete name as a second name. Try to follow this one. Email ID and mobile number, that as usual, that we can do. So try to follow this format, guys. Yeah. If you follow this format, I can see your names easily and I can recognize. I can remember your numbers. So the type of remembering is different. That's why then at least, and then what I'm telling there, those who registered for this classes, I think you might be received a mail with your registration number. Rinki Agarwal, just one time talk with Bhavani, already given number and everything. I talk with Bhavani and she will send that mail to you if you have not received any mail. So in that mail, your registration number is available. So use that registration number as a first name in the registration of this webinar, in the registration form of this webinar. Use that registration number as a first name and your name as the last name, and email and mobile number as usual that we can provide. Right? Those who are not having any idea and all, just try to talk with our office people. Then Bhavan is a respective person and she will prepare and she will send that mail to you immediately. Then at least tomorrow onwards, you have to join with that Durgasoft created ID value. Okay, right, yes. So anyway, then I will give some clarity for you what is inheritance onwards. We are going to be start now. Try to listen carefully, right from starting, right from scratch. Even if you don't know inheritance, with my explanation, you will understand what is inheritance. Okay, good. Guys, all of you observe this clearly. Now tell me, guys, all of you now tell me. Simple question I'm asking to you again. Now try to answer for it. Java is an object-oriented programming language or not? Java is an object-oriented programming language or not? Simply say yes or no. Everybody has to respond for my questions. They're fundamentals. I can check your awareness, how much you are on this particular part. So Java is an object-oriented programming language or not? Yes, exactly. All of you are giving right answers. That's perfect. Right, sir. Java is an object-oriented programming language. No second thoughts. That is perfect. How how can you say Java is an object-oriented programming language? What is the reason for it? In Java, where in Java data will be stored. Data will be stored in the form of objects as per as per object orientation rules and regulations. As per object orientation rules and regulations, or as per object orientation conventions. Rules and regulations are conventions. As per object orientation conventions, data will be stored in the form of objects. Come on, guys. Not only in the case of Java, I'm telling to you. Not only in the case of Java, then what I'm telling to you, if any programming language, the point what I'm telling to you, if any programming language goes to represent data in the form of objects, as per object-oriented principles, as per object-oriented principles, then that programming language is called as object-oriented programming language. That's it. So not only Java, just Java is an example as we are discussing Java. That's why I've given this information. But not only Java, and before that, what I'm telling to you, if any programming language allows to represent data in the form of objects as per object-oriented principles, then that programming language is called as like which one? Object-oriented programming language. That's it. That's okay. But here my question is like which one? My question is, what are these object-oriented principles? As per this object-oriented principles only, data will be stored in the form of objects. But what is this? What are these object-oriented principles actually? So these object-oriented principles are features, are features only. As per these object-oriented principles are features, the data will be stored in the form of which one? Objects. But what are these object-oriented features actually? In general, there are 7 object-oriented principles or features. What are these 7 object-oriented principles or features? Now, listen guys, all of you listen carefully. This question I will ask frequently. Can you tell me what are the various object-oriented principles or object-oriented features? Like this, I will ask number of times in the future. So one time remember them. So one is like which one? Class. One is like a class. One is like a class. One is like a class. First one is like a class, and the second one is object. Guys, just wait a minute of time, guys. I'll come back now. 1 minute wait. 1 minute wait. Right, yes, right. Right. So now come for this. First one is like which one? Class, and the second one is object. Third one is recapitulation, and fourth one is abstraction, and the fifth one is inheritance. Sixth one is polymorphism, and seventh one is message passing. I've this clearly now. If any programming language allows to represent data in the form of objects as per object-oriented principles, or features, then that programming language is called as object-oriented programming language. In general, there are 7 object-oriented features are existed. There are 7 object-oriented principles of features. What are these? Class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and the seventh one is which one? Message passing. These are the 7 number of object-oriented features. Okay, good. Out of these 7 number of object-oriented features, from the above 7 object-oriented features, the following 4 features are most powerful features. Important features are most powerful features. What are the important features here? We have to observe this clearly. The first one is encapsulation. The second one is polymorphism, and the third one is encapsulation. Now, second one is I want to say abstraction. Yes, abstraction. Third one is polymorphism, and anyway, third one I want to say inheritance. Better in order I'm going to provide. And the fourth one is polymorphism. Polymorphism. These 4 are the most powerful object-oriented features. But out of these 4 object-oriented features, first of all, I required inheritance. I need inheritance. What is inheritance? What is the meaning of inheritance? I required this much. Listen, guys, all of you listen carefully. In object orientation, we are going to provide programming part with the classes and objects only. Majorly, we are going to write programming with the classes only. Please, all of you listen carefully. In object-oriented programming, we are going to prepare programming with by using classes only. Classes we are going to use to prepare programming in the case of object orientation. Let's say, for example, I want to represent an employee. I want to represent an employee. So employee is a group representation. Employee is a normal some entity. To represent that entity, we are going to take class employee. Class employee. Whenever we declare this class employee in general, then what we are able to provide? Some variables we have to provide. Some data we have to represent for this class. So variables here we have to provide. So what are these variables now? In the ENO is equal to something else. In TNO variable is required. Now string employee name variables we required, and float employee salary we are able to provide, and the string employee address, and so on and so on and so on. Some variables here we are able to provide. So employee email or employee mobile number, all these details here we are able to provide. We are going to provide that. That's the point what I'm telling to you guys. So class employee that we are providing. Okay, good. Then this is class representation. Now, one simple question. What about my question now? If I take manager in an organization, manager I want to take. Manager is also an employee. So whatever the principles we declared, whatever the properties we declared inside this employee, all these properties must be declared, must be required in the case of manager also. Subject is clearly here also class manager I'm taking. Manager is also an employee. So inside this manager also, what we required in the employee number is required, and a string employee name is required. And next one is like which one? Float ESR is required. Then a string EADDR is required. Then after that, some manager own details are also existed. This is manager. Similarly, I want to take some accountant in an organization. Accountants are available. So class accountant. Class accountant. If we take this class accountant, what we are able to do now? All right, sir. Accountant is also an employee, guys. Accountant is also an employee. So here, what I am able to do? Int ENO, employee number is required, and a string employee name is required, and a float employee salary is required. Then overall, next one is employee address is required. Then after that, that means accountant his own data might be existed. Uh, guys, one simple question I'm asking you, not try to answer for it. In this overall example, come on guys, all of you observe this clearly. In this overall example, How many times I declared ENO, ENAME, ESER and EADDR variables? Can you please tell me? How many times I declared all these variables? 3 times we declared all these variables. Please recognize this. 3 times we declared all these variables. So 3 times we declared same variables or different variables. Same variables we declared. The same variables we declared. So same variables in the sense code duplication or not. Same variables in the sense code duplication or not. Code duplication or not? Definitely it's a code duplication. So code duplication means that code redundancy. Code duplication and code redundancy both are same. So code duplication or code redundancy we are getting it. So then what we have to do? Code duplication is not suggestible in our applications now. Code duplication is not suggestible. So here we have to provide code reusability. In place of this code redundancy, we have to provide code reusability. Code reusability is suggestible, not code duplication. Code duplication is not suggestible in our applications. Only code reusability is required. Right, sir. If you want to provide code reusability, then what we have to do? So first of all, what is the meaning of code reusability? One time if you declare and reuse the same thing in all the other cases. One-time declaration, but reuse the same in every case. One-time declaration is sufficient to reuse every time. So that's the meaning of like which one? Code reusability. So my point is which one? In employee class, anyway, I declared these members. I want to reuse the same members in a manager class and in an accountant class. One time I declared members inside this employee, same variables I want to reuse in a manager class and in accountant class. But how it is now? If you want to reuse members of this employee class in manager and accountant, first of all, we should require a relation between employee class and manager and employee class and accountant. We need a particular relation. Then only we are able to reuse the members of one class in another class. So some relationship is required. Definitely we need some relationship between classes. Then only we can reuse one class members in another class. Now, what exactly the relation here we require? That relation is inheritance relation. If we define inheritance relation in our classes, then we can reuse one class members in another class. That's the point here, what I'm telling you guys. So, but how we are able to define inheritance relation between like employee class to manager and employee class to accountant? If it is a case, then simply what we have to do, no, simply class manager, simply in Java we have to write extends keyword. Extends is a keyword. That keyword is representing inheritance in Java. Extends employee. Extends employee. Then get up to this clearly. Class manager extends employee. What is the meaning of it now? Employee class is acting as parent class. Manager class is acting as which one? Child class. Employee class is a parent class and a manager class is which one? Child class. So whatever the members which are available in employee class, all these members we can use in which one? Manager class. Whatever the members we declared in employee class, all these members are available to manager class automatically. In employee class, ENO, ENAME, ESER, EADDR, and some other methods are available. All these members will come to manager class. So in manager class, not required to declare all these variables. In manager class, all these variables are not required. Why? Because already they were declared in employee class, then we can reuse them. We can reuse them. Just I'm writing like which one? Reuse employee class members. Employee class members here. Reuse employee class members here. That's it. That point here I'm telling you clearly now. This is one thing. Similarly, I want to reuse employee class members inside my accountant class. So we need relationship between employee and accountant. Then which relationship is required? Inheritance relationship is required, guys. That's right. Inheritance relationship is required. Now just understand this clearly. Then if you want to maintain this inheritance relationship, then what we have to do? Simply in the case of this accountant class also, simply write extends employee. Extends employee in the sense we are extending from employee to accountant. We are extending members of this employee to accountant. That means whatever the members which are available inside this employee, all these members are coming to which one? Accountant. So inside this accountant, it's not required to declare all these members. Inside this accountant, it's not required to declare all these members. That's it. Guys, all of you have to this clearly know. This is what exactly the meaning of like which one? Inheritance. Guys, I'm asking another question. I'll try to answer for it, guys. Now tell me, in this overall conversation, in this overall scenario, in this total example, just I define inheritance relation between classes. Okay, fine. Then now tell me, how many times I declared variables now? ENO, ENAME, and ECR and EADDR. Out of these three classes, how many times I declared these variables? Come on, guys. Only one time. Only one time we declared these variables. Am I right? No. But how many times we are using these variables? Now tell me. How many times we are reusing these variables? Now tell me, guys. How many times we are reusing that? So two times we are reusing that. One time anyway, we declare them. The same variables we reused in a manager class and an accountant class. So this is the meaning of like which one? Reusability. And at the same time, this is a way to define relation between one class and another class. So defining a relation between one class to another class is able to provide code reusability. Code reusability. As all of you are getting my point now. All of you are getting my point now. Please respond for me. All of you are getting my point. No response. Right. That's fine, guys. That's okay. Now listen carefully. Now I want to give a definition. For all these points. What exactly the inheritance? What exactly the inheritance? I want to give a definition. All of you guys observe this clearly. What is this inheritance actually? Inheritance is the relation between classes. Inheritance is a relation between classes. I can say that relation is also like which one here? Parent-child relation between classes. Inheritance is a relation between classes. That relation I'm telling to you, parent-child relation. Good. Now, what it will do? Now, observe this clearly. It will bring variables and methods. It will bring variables and methods from one class to another class. It will bring variables and methods from one class to another class in order to reuse. This is what exactly the meaning of which one? Inheritance. Good. Then what is this point I'm telling to you? In Java, not in Java, the main advantage, of inheritance is code reusability. The main advantage of inheritance is code reusability. That's it, guys. The main advantage of inheritance is which one? Code reusability. Then already we are seeing that one time we declare that the same thing we can reuse in all the child classes. Here, parent class is employee, manager is a child class, and accountant is also be another child class. The main advantage of inheritance is which one? Code reusability. Good. This is one point. One more small note here I'm telling to you. In Java, inheritance is represented in the form of extends keyword. Keyword we are using for inheritance, no, extends keyword. In Java, inheritance is represented in the form of extends keyword. That's okay, guys. Now this is the point. What exactly the meaning of inheritance and everything here we discussed it here clearly. Right. This is an example for inheritance that we understood clearly. Next up, how many types of inheritances are existed? How many types of inheritances are existed? Yes, all of you observe this clearly. Initially, there are two types of inheritances only. What are the two types of inheritances initially? Right. First one is single inheritance, and second one is multiple inheritance. Guys, once again I will discuss about all these things in object orientation. Just now, what is what I'm telling there. Why? Because I need to discuss with you regarding which point there no multiple inheritance is not exist in Java. So first of all, we have to understand what is multiple inheritance. As part of understanding what is multiple inheritance, I'm discussing each and every part right from scratch I started. So understand my intention. Then why I'm discussing all these points now without having requirement? Just think like this. So definitely we need this all these points, fundamentals. So that fundamentals I'm discussing with you clearly, right from very scratch. Why? Because my point is which one? Multiple inheritance. Up to this I have to be reached. Then if you understand what is multiple inheritance, then I will talk why it is not available in Java. Understand guys what I'm telling you? So that is the reason why I'm discussing about all these points. Now, right anyway, now come for our content, what I'm telling you. Initially, there are two types of inheritance. Then afterwards, what will happen on the basis of the above two types of inheritances, on the basis of the above two types of inheritances, three more inheritances are defined. Usually two types, but on the basis of the single and multiple inheritances, three more inheritances are defined. What are the three more inheritances now? First one is multi-level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and fourth one is after this multi-level inheritance, next one is hierarchical inheritance, and fifth one is hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. These are overall, like which one? Five types of inheritances are available overall, but initially two types of inheritances are existed. On the basis of these two, by combining these two, three more inheritances are provided. But out of all these types of inheritances, today, what I require now, only what is single inheritance and what is multiple inheritance, only these two things only we required as of now, as per our discussion. Why? Because multiple inheritance is not required in Java, not exist in Java. To say that what is multiple inheritance, I have to say. So that's why single inheritance and multiple inheritance we are going to discuss, but we don't require to go for multi-level, hierarchical, and hybrid inheritance. That's why I want to restrict up to there's a single and multiple inheritance today in today's session. Right, sir. Now let's observe this clearly. What I'm going to be provided here. Right. Now, what exactly the single inheritance? That's my question next. What is single inheritance? That's very clear. Now try to understand this clearly. It's the relation between classes. It's the relation between classes where it will bring variables. It will bring variables and methods from. It will bring variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Come on, guys, all of you observe this clearly. And moreover, here I'm telling you, employee is a superclass. The class which is providing variables and methods is a superclass. The classes which are getting variables and methods are called as which one? Subclasses. This is an official terminology in object orientation and especially in Java. The class which is providing superclass and the class which is getting the variables and methods is called as which one? Subclass. Parent class, superclass. Child class, subclasses. Both are same terminology. Observe carefully. So here, there is a relation between classes where it will bring variables and methods from only one superclass. That means parent class should be only one to any number of subclasses. That's the point. So I want to provide official representation, diagrammatic representation for it. Now try to recognize this, guys. All of you observe this clearly. What I'm telling you, right? Not required pointers. Let's observe this clearly. Official representation. Now everybody has to put more concentration. So what is the point I'm telling to you? Now I want to take this as class A. Yes, all of you understand this. This is I want to take class A. Inside this class A, I want to declare a variable. Say for example, int I is equal to 10. And I want to declare a method also, method or function, whatever it may be now, we can understand it clearly. Void M1 function, I want to declare, that's fine. This I want to make a superclass. Now I want to take a subclass. Now here, this is like which one get a subclass. This is like a subclass. Now I want to declare it like which one? Class B. This I want to declare as a subclass. But between class A and class B, inheritance relationship is existed. To represent this inheritance relationship, here we are able to use upward arrow, up arrow that we have to use. That up arrow is representing which one? Inheritance. That means extends keyword. Up arrow is representing which one? Extends keyword. Understand it clearly. Now, class B extends A. So, arrow header code is always pointing superclass. Arrow tiler code is always representing subclass. This is an indication. Arrow head code is always pointing superclass. Arrow tiler code is always representing which one? Subclass. So reusability. I variable and M1 method we declared in superclass that we can reuse here. I is equal to I plus 10, and then we can call like which one? M1 method we can call. I is equal to I plus 10 we can access, and M1 method call also be here we can provide. So here, how many superclass are available? Only one superclass. How many subclass are available? One or more number of subclasses, that doesn't matter for us. So only one superclass is a matter. So this is exactly called as which one? Single inheritance. This is exactly called as which one? Single inheritance. That is the meaning of single inheritance, guys. All of you observe this clearly now. This is like which one? Inheritance. Single inheritance that we understood. Similarly, what is multiple inheritance now? This is single inheritance. I'm able to give Java does support this. Java does support single inheritance. No problem. Right. Next one is what is multiple inheritance here? What is the meaning of this multiple inheritance? Very simple. It's the relation between classes. It's the relation between classes where it will bring variables and methods from more than one class to, where it will bring more than variables and methods from more than one class to one or more number of subclasses, child classes. It is a relation between classes where it will bring variables and methods from more than one superclass, more than one superclass, more than one superclass, more than one superclass to one or more number of child classes. Then it is called as like which one? Multiple inheritance. Alright, so now let me provide this multiple inheritance representation in our content. All of you put more concentration, guys. What I'm going to be provided now. So multiple inheritance in the sense like what I have to take now. This is exactly like which one? One superclass. Similarly, I want to take another superclass. This is another superclass. For both of them, I want to take one subclass. More than one superclass and one single subclass that we have to provide. Right, sir. After this, what I'm telling to you. Right, sir. Understand this? Class A, class B, and this is like which one? Class C. Class A, class B, and what next one? No, class C. So here upward arrow is representing like which one? Extends here. That's sufficient. Class C extends A comma B. There's a meaning here. Class C extends A comma B. Just we can understand this clearly programmatically if you want to say like this. Class C extends A comma B. It means that two superclasses and a single subclass. Now in this case, then what we are having there? Class B extends A. That's it. Yes, all of you observe this clearly. Now I want to declare members in class A. Say for example, int I is equal to 10. Then after that, I'll provide like which one? Void M1 method, just open and close. Next one is class B. I want to take int j is equal to 20. Then after that, after this int j is equal to 20, next one is the void M2 method. Void M2 method. Right, so now in two superclasses, we declare two different reference values. Sorry, two different data. I variable and j variable, M1 and M2 method. As a class C is a child class for both of them, as a class C is a child class for both of them, we can reuse both of them in our child class. I is equal to I plus j is equal to j plus 10. That's okay, good. Now here we can call M1 method and M2 method also here we can call. Subject is clearly M1 method and S1 is like for M2 method that we are able to provide. So more than one superclass contains different data that both the data is coming to shaded class C. So we can access A and B data instead of like which one class C. This thing is possible. This thing is possible, guys. Exactly here we can understand this clearly. This thing is possible. We can observe this clearly. What I'm telling you. Okay, fine. So this is like what exactly the meaning of like which one multiple inheritance, guys. All of you observe this clearly. Up to this also we are not getting any problem. But my question is why multiple inheritance is not possible? That's my question. So Java does not support multiple inheritance. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Why Java is not supporting multiple inheritance? That's our question. So listen carefully, all of you know the same multiple inheritance story I want to provide, guys. Now all of you observe this clearly. So why multiple inheritance is not supported in Java? Just I want to give clarity on it. So put more concentration, all of you guys. So these are the two classes here I've taken, and this is one child class here I've taken there. Now inside this, what I am telling to you. So now this is like which one class A, and this is like which one and class B. Now this is like which one class C. Okay, up to this clearly what I'm telling to you. In a class A, for example, I want to take int I is equal to 10. Okay, good. Then here I want to take void M1 method. Now inside this some X implementation. Okay, fine. Some X implementation here we have taken. And after that, curly braces closed. This class A data. Similarly, in a class B, I want to declare, understand that twist. I want to declare same I variable with the 20 value. In a class B, I want to declare same I variable with the 20 value. Next one is, after that, I will declare the same M1 method, but not with X implementation. It would be like with which one? Y implementation. It would be like with which one? Y implementation. Okay, fine. So now, between these two classes, here we are having inheritance relationship actually. Right. Now, here I need to define this inheritance relationship. No, same class A and class B and class C. But up to this case, as class C is a child class to class C and class B, class C have the responsibility of using, class C is capable to use, are eligible to use class C and class B members, reusing members of this class C and class B. So now here what I'm telling to you, I is equal to I plus 10, I'm able to provide. M1 method call I provided. That's my question is, as now I'm asking one simple question now, tell me, in a class C, how many sets of I variables are available, guys? Now tell me now. In a class C, how many sets of I variables are available? Please confirm to me. How many sets of I variables are available? Now tell me in class B. As a class C is a child class to class A and class B. As a class C is a child class to class A and class B. How many copies of I variables are possible are available in class C? Overall, 2 copies of I variables are available or not? Say, sir, this is not a copy, sir. This is reusing, using variables of superclass. I is equal to I plus 10. It's not declarative statement. Just it is like which one? Variable utilization. But declaration is available here. So this is 1 copy and this is 2 copies. Then overall 2 copies of I variable is available to class C or not? Yes, guys. 2 copies of I variables are available or not? So please give response, all of you know. If you're not giving response, I can understand it. So definitely 2 copies of I variables are available in class C. But here my question is, when I access this I variable, which is superclass provided I variable value will be provided here? Right? Which is superclass value? Which is superclass I variable value is coming to this class C? That's my question. In this case, I is equal to I plus 10 in essence, I need I variable value. I variable values are available at superclasses. 2 superclasses contains I variable value. Then which is superclass I variable value will come to our class C? That's my question. Remember this question. Right. If you think class A superclass value is coming, no, then what happened there? I value is 10, here 10 plus 10, 20. If you think superclass A is providing I value, 20 will be the result. For example, if you think class B is providing I variable value, where 20 is a value, no, 20 plus 10, 20 plus 10 in the sense like which one? 30 value. Then is that 20 or is that 30? Is that 20 or is that 30? That's a question mark here. Good. Next one. When I call M1 method, superclass M1 method will be executed. When I call M1 method, superclass M1 method will be executed. So, but M1 method is available in both the superclasses. In class A superclass M1 is available. In class B superclass M1 method is available. So that M1 method, which M1 method will be executed? If it executes class A superclass M1 method, where X implementation will be executed, is that X implementation? Or if you think class B provided M1 method is executing, so where Y implementation will be executed, is it Y implementation? Understand guys what I'm telling you? Is it X implementation or Y implementation? What is this? So this is my question now. So from which superclass I value is coming, from which superclass M1 method is coming, there is a confusion. There's a confusion, guys. Really, it's a confusion. We are unable to decide that. Not only for us, even compiler JVM is also be getting the same confusion. Compiler JVM is also be getting same confusion. All of you guys, please understand my point now. Both are getting same confusion. When both are getting same confusion, then because of this confusion only, Java does not allow this particular multiple inheritance content. Java does not allow this multiple inheritance concept because of this confusion. Why? Because Java is a simple programming language. Java is a simple programming language. Because of this reason, Java does not allow this multiple inheritance concept. Even though second case is simple case where no confusion is available, but still that extends, then after this extends A comma B, more than one class is not allowed. Not allowed, definitely not. And so my point, then how Java does not allow this extent, does not allow this multiple inheritance? No, Java define, all of you guys understand my point. Java define extends the keyword in such a way to allow only one superclass name, not more than one superclass name. Come on, guys. Java defines extends keyword in such a way to allow only one superclass name, not more than one superclass name. So in this fashion, that extends keyword was defined. So now here, what I'm telling you, say for example, what I'm telling you guys now, observe this clearly. Class A, or else as for this, class C extends A valid, class C extends B valid, but class C extends A comma B, this is invalid. All of you guys observe this clearly now. This I'm telling you, this is valid, right? I'm telling you, this is like which one valid, and this is like which one get invalid. This is like which one get invalid, right? So there are the cases that existed here. We have to understand it clearly. So in single inheritance, if someone wants to use the class K, that is our superclass, and class B, that is our subclass, someone can extend class C using class B has superclass? No, exactly. We can do that. That is multi-level inheritance. Yes, Karthik, we can use that. Yeah. That's exactly right. Okay, guys. Now this is the confusion why we are getting some problem here. Understand my point here. That's why here we are not going to use multiple inheritance in the case of our applications. Yeah, that's in Java. Up to Java. That's it. Java, it's possible. We can use that. Okay, guys. Now this is the total awareness here. We can understand it clearly. Now simple points here. What I'm telling to you here. Explanation I'm telling you. If you declare same variable with different values and same method with a different implementation in both the super classes, both the super classes, and if we access that common variable and method at subclass, then which is superclass variable which is superclass variable and method will be accessed is a big confusion for the compiler and the GPU. Java is a simple programming language, so it will not allow it will not allow any confusion feature, any confusion oriented feature. So Java does not allow multiple inheritance. Java does not allow multiple inheritance. So note kind of point what I'm telling to you. Java define extends keyword in such a way to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name, guys. Not to allow more than one superclass name. That's it. So this is what exactly the way to provide like which one? Multiple inheritance content. Right. Only one superclass name, not more than one superclass name. So as I give an examples there, we can observe this clearly. Class A extends to B. Okay, valid. This is valid. This is already I given in the diagram also, but once again I have written this. Class B extends C. All right. Now class A, for example, extends C. That also be like this one. Valid, for example. Right. So now here the point is more than one superclass is not good. Class A extends B comma C. The total thing is like which one here? No, invalid. That's right. Now this is what exactly the meaning of like which one or content. Right, guys. Then I want to share this document to all of you guys. Just we can do this clearly. Wait a minute of time. All of you are having the classroom coach for Java 7 a.m. Right. It's on 30th 7/20. So inheritance and doc. This is things I'm uploading guys, and one of our student got positive in COVID actually, maybe almost 20 days back, and she recovered. Then she recovered totally, and now she's okay. Now she's attending my classes. So I asked to her, then can you give what exact the prescription you followed already regarding this? Regarding this COVID, what the prescription you followed that? I asked her to that girl. She has given the total information to me. Total information to me. She has given what precautions we have to take and what medicines we have to take. She has given the total information. Even I'm attaching that file also. Now read carefully. Read carefully. If it is need, then think of it. It is need, then think of it the precaution. And she recovered with because of this medicine and because of this total procedure. So just one time open this COVID-19.txt, just we can check that. So definitely her name is Hemalata. Hemalata, she has given this total information. No? I think so it may be needed, maybe in any case. So she was in totally home quarantine. In her home only, she was in home quarantine and she followed this prescription. Now she is all right and she come out from that situation. That's why I'm attaching this file also. Let me check one time. That file is the right file or not. Let me check one time, guys. COVID-19, I think so, right? Exactly. Total. She has given her diet total morning to evening, what tablet she has taken and what diet she followed and everything she has written here. I asked her. She sent that file to me. Yes, I'm sending that to you. Now try to utilize this if it is needed, but not required. Everybody, but if it is needed, try to use that. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. So thank you guys, and we'll meet on tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll continue the remaining part. Thank Hemlata for sharing valuable information. Exactly right. And check once, guys. It's minimum. Whether you refer these two pages, these two files, I don't know, but this file you must read. You must read today, immediately after this class. Yeah. Okay, guys, and thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll meet on tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll discuss about like which one continuation of this content. Right? All of you are following points clearly, guys. All of you are understanding the concepts what I'm explaining. Please say yes or no. Come on, faster, fast manner. Please say yes or no. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll meet on tomorrow. Thank you.